They represent police departments at some of their darkest times. Police honor guards, the men and women who perform the difficult task of honoring a fellow officer who died in the line of duty. Tonight, we find out what it means to have those men and women by your loved one's casket and the work that goes into embracing the families long after the funeral ends. August 19th of last year, a summer of pandemic misery was briefly interrupted by the sad duty of honoring fallen Metro Lieutenant Eric Lloyd. Roughly 6 in 10 police deaths last year were from COVID, and that's what claimed the 30-year veteran of the department. In a season of social distancing, Metro's honor guard could not keep theirs. Duty compelled them to do their job, carrying Lieutenant Lloyd's casket and providing comfort to his wife, Mindy, the couple's 2 daughters, and 5 grandchildren.
It's just nice to know that the fellowship and the brotherhood, that his agency hasn't forgotten him. And then, of course, the survivors, meaning me and my family and my children.
We want the community to see that, hey, well, officer does, down the line of duty, that they are honored and respected, and their families are honored and respected, not just that day, but forever. And that's what Honor Guard does. We immortalize that officer forever.
Officer Calvin Wandick and Sergeant Brian Leahy serve on Metro's Honor Guard. They are 2 of 28 volunteers, men and women who are the stoic faces of the department, and the job can become deeply personal.
One of my good friends passed away this year due to COVID, and to see that happen, had to be one of the officers stand post at his coffin, was tough, but we pushed through. We made it happen.
You're so focused on the task at hand because you don't have the luxury to think about how it's affecting you emotionally. You go home and you talk to your loved ones. You go back and talk to your fellow Honor Guard members outside, but at the moment you have to deliver.
Wandick, Leahy, and honor guards from all 4 Southern Nevada police departments traveled to Washington, D.C. earlier this month for Police Weekend, a time to honor the fallen and embrace their families. They escorted Mindy Lloyd and her family into the National Mall for a candlelight vigil to honor her husband and hundreds of other police officers who died in 2019 and 2020. That's Sergeant Leahy and Officer Wandick at the ceremony. Before they left for D.C., they told us why this trip to the Capitol is so important for them.
A little bit of sadness because you're remembering your fallen friends, or you're just hearing the stories from around the nation, but at the same time, it's empowering.
You actually get to meet some of the family members from an officer who was killed in the line of duty, and they have various states and backgrounds, and they tell you their story about the officer themselves. Of course, I never met this officer one day in my life, and I don't know anything about him, but it's so interesting and honorable to know about this officer. It makes you feel human again. It humbles you.
22,611 names have been added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. For Mindy, the experience was surreal. She would often come here with her husband to learn how to counsel other spouses and families. Now it's her on the other end, seeing Eric's name on the memorial.
The emotion is just, it's validating the loss, because you can't believe that his name is really up there. And when you see that wall, you know that wall is just an unfinished project, because there's going to be other names that are going to be planted on there. I don't envy the Honor Guard right now, because as you see, just like that wall, we know there's many more officers that are going to die, and they do that job. And the Honor Guard, the respect that they give them, there's no words, but they are there for you and the family, and they stay with you.
There are lighter moments for the Honor Guard. They also present colors at Metro Police Academy graduations and will do the same at next week's SEMA convention. Mindy Lloyd is the project director of the Injured Police Officers Fund, an organization that financially and emotionally supports families of fallen and injured officers. Her husband, Lieutenant Eric Lloyd, was the president of the organization until his death last year.